only two decent teams they played, they lost. So I still think Indiana wins it all. But Aaron, once again, welcome in, man. How's things going for you?
It's going. Just been busy. A lot of work.
Working? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so last year we rung in the new year after Penn State beat up Boise State.
Yep.
This year probably bring it in again on the pod. So pretty much been doing it every year, ringing the new year on the pod. Christmas we do an episode. So, but Aaron, how long have you been listening to the show?
Probably close to a year, like 8 months.
Okay. So, well, Aaron, I found out because you were always Faf in the comments, and I didn't know your name was Aaron. But yeah, I called into Landon Tengwall's show, and then you called in right after me. You said, "Hey, that was Mark. He has a podcast."
Yeah.
And then you came on like that night and said, "Hey, that was me." You know, because I didn't know. And then I put out the thing one night, said, "If anyone wants to come on, you can come on." And then Aaron came on, and super chill guy. So it's good to have you. It's good to have you on again and again, man. So
appreciate it.
Absolutely. But this year the podcast has grown a lot. We started the year at like 500 subs. Now we're almost at 13.
Yeah.
So this year has been a lot of growth, and you know, from pretty much from the Oregon game when we lost to Matt Campbell was hired. Brett and I were full throttle. Didn't get a lot of sleep for months. And we just covered the team. And that really helped us grow. So really happy and excited to be where we're at now. But Aaron, what do you think about Danton Lynn? You're an old school fan. You know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He played when I was in school. When I tried out at Penn State, he was on the team. Yeah. Solid player, solid guy, great football mind. So,
yeah, especially like the combo of him with Terry, because I'm sure those guys have a long history together, and you know what I've seen from Lynn so far, he was improving USC's defense year over year. It's hard to gauge because he didn't have it for all that long, just a couple of years, but initially there was a pretty big improvement, and then this year less of one. But he was in a surprisingly good spot actually, and I wasn't sure if he'd take the Penn State job because of it.
Yeah,
because USC is going to have their second top 5 class from the looks of it in a row, and that gives you a lot of ammo to work with on defense. You know, those guys were all freshmen this year from that first top 5 class, so you're not going to get an immediate impact from those guys typically. But I was a little surprised that he walked away from it, which tells me how much he wanted to be Penn State's guy. Which doesn't surprise me because just knowing who he was and who he's been. But I understood that, you know, he's walking away from a pretty good situation. So really great to have him. I'm excited to see what he can do and what he brings to the table defensively. He got USC to start playing Big Ten football, in my opinion. So that's a good start.
Yeah, you make a good point. He did have a good situation there, so it tells me a couple things. One, he wanted to come to Penn State for sure, and he wanted to coach for a different guy. That's another thing I think that was a factor. I mean, you don't have a lot of opportunities to come to Penn State and coach. You don't. We don't hire and fire coaches. Franklin was here for 12 years. Now, DC, OC, that's a little different. We do fluctuate on them sometimes, but Franklin, I think, wanted him. Brett said last night that he probably didn't want to coach for Franklin.
I don't think he was ever going to go to that job.
Probably not. You know, Letterman talk, obviously. And he was not a big Letterman guy. So that's a factor as well. But when you have Terry Smith, who 100% played a factor, I'm sure, and then you have Matt Campbell, a real coach, with another real coach, of course. And I agree with you. I didn't think he would come here. I thought we were going to end up getting someone else. But word is that Deontay Pennell, you remember him, Aaron?
Yep.
So word is that he's going to be a D-line coach under Danton Lynn, and I'm sure he has some power as to who he's going to hire on his defensive side of the ball. So Deontay Pennell, former guard / tackle for Penn State, again played when I was in school. Was a teammate of Danton Lynn. I guess he's coming in, an O-line guy coaching D-line, which you can do that either way. I mean, Larry Johnson could coach O-line because he knows what he's trying to do on the defensive side. Therefore, you could coach offense or defensive line, really. Mm-hmm. So that'll be cool to have Deontay Pennell back. He was a good player for us. So, yeah, it's just I mean, to me, it's not even like some people say splash hire, this and that. Man, it's just a good hire. Like it's not a splash hire, if you will. What have you. Franklin did that a lot. Got the splash hire, didn't work out all the time.
Yeah. Those don't work out a lot of the time. No, actually.
Like Deontay Pennell, you guys that aren't like diehard fans, you're not even going to remember him. And he could be coaching our D line.
So I don't even know how many snaps he actually got.
I do remember when they played Alabama in 2011, when Johnny Troutman got hurt. He got rolled. He got rolled up on. Yeah. Him and Quinn Barham were both, I think, getting beat up because they had used 3 timeouts in that first drive. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
So I think it was Johnny Troutman got rolled up on, or Quinn Barham. Yeah, it was Johnny Troutman.
It was Troutman, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was on the sideline, and then they were rotating in Deontay Pennell, and they did not plan that. To go into that drive, they threw it to the little guy. Gosh darn it. Devon Smith, right? Devon Smith?
I think it was Davon Smith, yeah.
Davon Smith. They threw it to him down the sideline. He dropped it. It was a perfect throw.
Yeah.
And then they went down and only got a field goal out of Anthony Farah to start the game. They used all 3 timeouts. They went for it on 4th down. Rob Bolden rolled out to the left and got the first down, reaching the ball over the first down marker. And then they scored 8 points in the 4th quarter. So it was 27-11 was the final score, I think.
Like 27, it was 27 to 11 or 12. It was 11, I think you're right.
And that was my first game. That was my first student whiteout. So that was the first game I'd been to as a student at a whiteout. I'd gone to the Indiana State game when Chaz Powell took the opening kickback.
Yeah.
He ran it right towards me. I was right in the middle of the end zone. He ran it right towards me. And then Alabama, the thing about that game, not to get off too far off subject, but Saban did not run up the score, and he could have easily run up the score.
Yeah.
I mean, holy crap, dude. Like, that
was
just
a big disadvantage in that game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is, if we had a quarterback that year, because we were rotating quarterbacks in that game. So if we had a solidified, decent starting quarterback, as good as that defense was, we had pretty much everything we needed. Trent Richardson was the running back. Him and Eddie Lacy, man, like, oh my goodness. Trent Richardson was playing against 3rd graders out there. Like, he was so good.
I do remember. Yeah, Richardson looked like a man among boys most games. He was kind of like Derrick Henry.
He was. Yeah. And, he in that game, like, they could have run up the score. They did not. So that was one of Saban's early games in his career, and they went on to win the national title. But if we had a decent quarterback that year, we had a good defense. We had Silas Redd. We had a bunch of receivers, a good O-line. Like, that was a senior-laden team. And going into the Nebraska game, after Joe was fired, they only had 1 loss. That was to Alabama. So they were looking at least a Big Ten, maybe a Big Ten championship run, maybe a Rose Bowl, and then that happened, and then that really threw the wheels off the wagon. Yeah, so, but, that was just a game where I remember one play from that game. Let me look up all the players, because they had – all right, so they had – let me see here real quick. Was Mark Barron number 4 at Alabama? Yes. All right. So I remember I was in the student section.
I can't remember.
I was in the student section. If you remember this play, he was. And by the way, Devin Still, holy crap, dude, that guy got through the line twice and just rocked Trent
Yes.
Richardson.
Yeah,
First
I was
play of
also
their first
didn't have
offensive
any
play they
success
had, he
in
went through
it.
and rocked him, and then that was a 3 and out because McCarron threw it down the middle and overthrew Marquise Mays, and Nick Suke I think got a hand on it too, but they lost that game, man, because freaking Nick Suke, my least favorite safety of all time at Penn State. Oh my goodness, he was so frustrating to watch. It was like 3rd and I don't know 11 or something. McCarron throws the ball down the middle to Marquise Mays. Suke goes for the interception, misses it.
Yeah.
Marquise Mays catches it somehow and then rolls. And then they go down and score, and that was it.
Yeah.
But what was I getting at there? What was my initial point? I don't remember. But yeah, they lost to Alabama that year, but that was an interesting game. Just the play, every play that they had. But okay, this is what I was going to say. But I was in the student section, so students, the stadium's like this. The student section's down here. I was to the left. So the tunnel's here. I was to the left, and I'm looking across the field. And Rob Bolden, I remember watching on TV too later on. He rolls out to the left. He throws a pop pass, tries to throw it to Derek Moy.
Yeah.
Mark Barron was literally probably 10 feet off the ground. His toe was extended. The bottom of his toe was 10 feet off the ground. He went up. Rob Bolden threw it. He just popped up and got the interception, fell down. And I'm like, this is the greatest team in the country right now. That was, no Penn State player. I never saw a Penn State player ever do that. It was insane. I was like, this is a different football team. These guys are just, they're not even in the realm of us. Like, they're a totally different team. It was just an insanely athletic play. And I knew then, like, bro, we're not winning a national title this year. Like, there's no way. It was just insane. But ACC going to run college football in 2026.
Yeah, okay.
Thomas, welcome in. Virginia Tech fanatics, welcome in. Yeah, it won't be Virginia Tech, but Ohio State losing to Miami team. Just wait to see the portal rankings for ACC. No one cares, bro. No one cares.
I don't think that's not how transitive property works, my friend.
Yep. I think Deontay Pennell. Carson Beck deserves a shout out. Has been shaky for the last 2 seasons. Did not turn the ball over and played smart today. Yep.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah.
Wearing that, he's a Buckeye. Yeah, we know.
Not today.
Know. That's why he's wearing it. So Miami took the belt to your asses, Ohio State fans. So the belt is now being taken to your ass, and you're done. And we ended the season with more hardware than you. Don't laugh at us. We are the Ohio State. That's why we laugh at you. We own James Franklin at PSU. He's not at PSU anymore.
You can go ahead and
block.
James. Yeah.
The Block O is the most powerful logo in all of sports. The sports in like Ohio, maybe.
In the state of Ohio.
Yeah, you guys are absolute clowns. I said it all year. You guys aren't that good, and you were exposed. You're Notre Dame. You lost to the only 2 teams you played all year. You talked all this crap all season. You guys are clowns. 2026 national champs. That is fiction, and you need to get your tattoo removed. Julian Sane has looked pedestrian the last 2 games. He looked pedestrian all year.
He does hold the ball, and I think some of that is
he's Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, Lord Farquaad. He does hold the ball a lot, and I think some of that is he wasn't under a ton of pressure from teams most of the year, right? And so I think he got into playing a certain way, and it worked against him in a big way at night. Partially because of that, and partially because they were just getting the early part of that game. They were getting absolutely manhandled on the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, for most of the first half. It only started to turn around a little bit at the very end of the first half. But then, you saw what happened. It was like, yeah, the second half, it was kind of going Ohio State's way, but you get down 14, sometimes you can't come back. So you got to play right from the beginning.
Yeah, they just, when they played the two good teams they played this year, they lost the battle every time. They lost the battle. I mean, I respect Ohio State, the program, have a ton of respect for them. I hate them. And
I hate how good they are. I'll admit it.
Yeah. And yes, we never beat them, but Ohio State fans, you guys, enjoy your time in paradise, because that's not happening. We're not losing to you guys every year anymore. It's not happening. We have a real coach now. So nothing under Franklin counted. Losing Joey O'Brien to Notre Dame, losing to you guys every year, losing to Michigan State doesn't really count. Well, it counts, but it doesn't count in the sense that when you have an incompetent coach, like, that's going to happen.
Yeah, you got the coach that gets out coached by every other coach. It's pretty tough to win against a quality team, and that's what was happening for so long.
Yeah,
but we're rid of him now. So
yeah, but he's at sexy Virginia Tech now, so he's happy.
Yeah,
possibly happy there. Day is a likely candidate. Also, I do not believe saying is the answer. Tonight proves that lacking the mobility and awareness to a truly extent. Yeah, Brian Day maybe could go to the Steelers. I don't know. I'm so mad my year is ruined. Can you put respect in our name? Dude, stop. Saying is not the answer. He's not the Heisman. You're Irish prestige. And you're done with Ryan Day. Dude, you guys are absolute clowns. Seriously. You guys, your fan base, most of it sucks. You're saying you're done with Ryan Day. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?
I mean, be my guest. If you guys fire him, I'd be very happy.
You guys are absolute clowns. If Cristobal can beat Ohio State, Penn State can beat them too. Absolutely. But I'm going to try to answer your comments, guys. Again, if you're members, you'll pop up. I'll try to pull you guys up first if we get too busy. But please like, share, subscribe. Helps get to 2,000 subs. And you can support us monetarily, super chats, thanks button, memberships, whatever you want. But thank you guys for tuning in. So, Aaron, I guess Danton Lynn runs a 4.25.
He does.
And, I want to mix between like a scrap type of defense, very conservative. He was very conservative. A mix between that and like a Manny Diaz, because scrap was not aggressive in turnovers trying to get the ball. He played a very conservative 4-3. Danton Lynn, he keeps it simple. He does a lot with it, and it's been successful. So it's simple but successful. That's what he does. So what do you think about what he's going to do with us? Do you think he's going to have success?
I think it's going to be personnel-oriented, his approach. I mean, with a 4.25, you really do need to be personnel-oriented. So I often say, like, you want to see an excellent example of a defensive coordinator and how he uses the players he's got to decide how he plays. Look at Vic Fangio. Everywhere he goes, his scheme changes a little bit, but it's all just based on who he has, right? So if you've got a secondary that's fast and really tough and big, good at tackling, right? Like the Eagles secondary, you can play quarters all day long, because it doesn't matter if the quarterback, like if the running back gets outside of the front line, he's going to get tackled by the first guy who hits him. So it's fine. You can take those risky plays and you can just bring four guys. But in a 4.25, if you have really trouble like with your edges, you don't get good pen, you're going to have a tough time staying in a 4.25 and playing nickel. Like, you just can't, because unless you have incredibly good tacklers in your backfield, right? Or you have really good linebackers that they just block that whole middle of the field is just toast because they're there. But it's going to depend on a lot of that stuff. So if you have, like, let's say Biles from Pittsburgh comes to Penn State, and you still have Tony Rojas, and those are your two middle linebackers that are working that middle of the field, hey, then maybe you can rush four and get away with it, and you don't have to be super aggressive, because you can just win. And then there's other times where it's like, well, if your secondary is a bit porous, you may need that nickel corner to be more coverage than tackling type. So it just depends on the personnel you have. But I think Lynn demonstrated a pretty good use of personnel at USC, because when he first got there, they were not in a great way on defense. You know, that was Lincoln Riley's biggest problem. Lincoln Riley wants to throw all his resources at offense, and he lets the defense just live with it. And
Yep.
when he first walked in there, he probably wasn't walking into the best spot for a defensive coordinator. Riley finally came around. I don't know how much of that, some of that might have been Lynn, you know, talking him into, hey, we need to take defense seriously or you're never going to win in the Big Ten. But whatever happened, they started to take it more seriously, and Lynn did a really good job. He ran a 4.25, but I don't know if he'll stay 4.25. I think it's just going to be personnel dependent. But I think he'll probably come in 4.25, just given our roster right now. He'll probably come in with a 4.25, unless something crazy happens in the portal. Like we get Biles and we get like some other big players that change the way that we can play defense. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in with a 4.25 and we kind of use like a fast safety blitz type situation. But it'll be interesting to see what he does. I'm very excited for it. He's a good defensive coordinator. So
Yeah, he's got a good resume, and you know he's a football mind. His dad is a coach. He's the running backs coach at the Redskins right now. So,
yep.
You know he's got an impressive resume, and that's really to me what it comes down to. He's proven. He was a player, and now he's a coach, and he's a proven commodity to me, in the sense that he, you know, he's earned his stripes. He's earned this spot on the Penn State coaching staff, like a Terry Smith, and you know, if it doesn't work out, you know, it doesn't work out. And I don't think that's going to happen. But it's like, what do you have to lose by hiring Danton Lynn? I mean, he's clearly qualified for the job. So, like a Terry Smith, go ahead.
Well, and I guess if anybody was questioning the Danton Lynn hire, my question to you would be, well, who else? Who's better? Right?
Yeah.
Like you've got a Penn State guy, Penn State fit, coming into a group of Penn State guys. It's about as good a fit as you can ask for. So he's got success. He's had success, and he's a good fit. So who else would it? You know, yeah, Haycock would be cool if he hadn't retired. But is he better than Lynn? I don't know that he would have been better than Lynn. He's certainly a more experienced, no question. But we don't always hire coaches on experience. If that was true, Kurt Signetti wouldn't be a coach right now, and Indiana would be a much sadder place than it is. So
Signetti really threw a wrench in a lot of things. The Big Ten,
he's
college
causing
football,
an awful lot of problems for people.
He is, man. Like what he's doing right now is unbelievable. First of all, he came from a small school that people don't hire coaches from small schools. He turned this team into a totally different team. It hurts the Big Ten in recruiting, but it hurts other teams in the Big Ten in recruiting.
Sure.
That's another team that no one ever had to worry about. Now they do. It hurts recruiting for everyone else in college football. It hurts the preparation for the big, teams that play the Big Ten. So they beat Ohio State. And I don't care who you are. If you beat Ohio State and you win that battle, you deserve a lot of respect. So they've beaten Ohio State. They play Alabama tomorrow. And I think if they beat Alabama and they play Georgia, if they beat Alabama, they'll play Oregon or Texas
Tech or Oregon. Yep.
And I think they can beat them. And then I ultimately have them playing Georgia to win it all. So Ohio State losing that's a good team that's knocked out now. They're done.
Yeah. Well, and it's good for Indiana because you really don't want to face the same team twice in short succession, just because they just saw all your plays. They saw your playbook. They know what you want to do, and they can kind of scheme it. Now, granted, that goes both ways, but there's something to like when you have the athletic disadvantage to a team, you really don't want to see them twice in short succession. See what happened to Oklahoma? They had an athletic disadvantage to Alabama. Saw them twice in short succession. They lost the second time, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, it's probably good for Indiana that Ohio State's not going to get a second shot at them. I will say if you can beat Oregon in their house and beat Ohio State in a critical game, there's there's nothing like, despite their disadvantage in terms of blue chip talent, there's nobody they can't beat. Like, plain and simple, there's definitely nobody they can't beat. So Kurt Signetti, I mean, honestly, if you were to ask me who's the closest match in coaching to Joe Paterno, it's Kurt Signetti.
Yeah,
because he just does more with less.
Joe Paterno never boasted. He just did his job. That's what Kurt Signetti does. I mean, he said, Google me, I win. He meant it. So, like,
right.
you know, like, he was not wrong. But yeah, having Hartline on the side, yeah, that was weird. He was there, but he wasn't calling plays, I guess.
Yeah, that was strange that they even had, like, why was he there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that a Ryan Day decision? Like, I'm confused.
I guess, and he was calling the plays. Ryan Day was calling the plays. Like, they said that on the.
I don't know. I guess Day thought that I think Josh Payton actually said it, that, like, no matter how much you're focused on the game, once you have a job somewhere else, you can't be 100% on it. That's true. But I'm also wondering if Brian Hartline at not 100% is still better. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was, right?
Do you believe Lynn will run? Yeah, line blocking, linebacking core, secondary. Penn State will eat on the defense. Excuse me. Hi guys, happy New Year's, New Year, new hope for me and my cancer. Yeah, what's up, Chris?
God bless
you. But after
Chris.
Yesterday's appointment, things are getting worse. Yeah. So Chris, fellow veteran, Aaron. And he said that he has terminal lung cancer. And while he's getting treatments, he listens to us. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, God bless you, Chris.
Yeah, anything we can do, man, let us know. So, but thank you for listening. It's really good to have you on, man. Lynn is a great fit. Second that, Aaron. Yes, he is. Happy New Year, Joe. This Texas Tech Oregon game. Dude, these games tomorrow, like, wow.
There's some good ones, man. I'm excited for them. I thought this would be the stinker of them.
Yeah, I did too. Chris, I hope you'll be okay. Ryan Day was born on third base, but acts like he hit a triple. There's not enough Ozempic or just for men to change his beta bitch ass status. Just Lord Farquaading. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, sir? Yeah, so Just for Men is definitely his favorite product of all time.
He has great hair. I'll give him that.
Praying for Chris.
So Lord Farquaad.
Thomas, thank you for gifting 10 memberships, man. So you guys can get some. Long legs, you're an absolute moron. Talking about Sandusky, you are blocked. But thank you, Thomas, for gifting 10 memberships. Appreciate it, man. Keep fighting, Chris. Yeah, you came on at a good time, Chris. You're going to get a lot of support. Welcome to the Dulac. Yeah, I've never seen long legs before, but I don't understand coming on here making jokes. It's like, dude, you're going to get blocked. What do you think we're going to do? Like, entertain you? But the fact that it's a Letterman, Aaron, it's just, dude, I don't know, man. It's not, to me, it's not, it's not like this big splash hire. Like, if they got Elijah Robinson to be the D-line coach, I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. But if it's Deontay Pennell, we just got a solid coach, man.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's like a wait and see. How's he going to do? It's a solid hire. He's a Letterman, but it's a wait and see for me, for everybody. I mean, the intangibles are there for Matt Campbell. The intangibles are there for this whole staff. Terry Smith's the only guy that we really know what we're getting. And once he got a tighter and tighter grip on the team, you saw the results. They won a bowl game against preseason 4-3, played in the pinstripe, and we beat them. No matter who they had out, regardless, our defense was written up very well. I hope Poindexter stays. But, it's a wait and see kind of thing for me, but he has earned this job. He is going to be a very good coach. And we'll see if his defense and his schemes and his processes can help us win a national title. We'll see. And I do think that will happen. Like, I think he's going to be a very solid coach, but we'll see. We'll see. So
Yeah, and it's one of those things that um, I'm a keep chopping. Good, yeah, good point. He was with Lynn at UCLA. I'm glad you mentioned that. And that probably had a lot to do with the decision to bring him on. But yeah, I know when it comes to coaching, and there's a lot of things that go into fit. So you can have a coach who doesn't do all that well at a place, and then you put him somewhere else, and suddenly he's a superstar.
yeah, right.
And so it's really hard because there's so many things behind the scenes you don't know. You can only look at fit, like as an outsider, we can only look at fit based on things like the alma mater. Is he liked? Does everybody on the staff work together well? We can kind of see some of that, but we don't get the whole details, obviously, because we're not in the room. But if you have a really good staff, which they have the skill set in that staff, they have those skills, and they've demonstrated those skills. Then if the fit is good, you can get a superstar performance. But staff is very important, and for some coaches, it's more important than others. Some coaches they can kind of raise the program themselves, but that kind of coach does not happen a lot. Like that's a Nick Saban, that's a Signetti. Like those kind of guys who just raise the bar like all solo. They're so rare. Whereas you're going to get most coaches, like even Dabo. Even Dabo he's not one of those guys who raises the bar alone. He needs good staff. So I think, and I think that's actually been his problem. I think that's part of the reason Clemson's been struggling is I don't think he has the staff he used to have, and he doesn't have the consensus in that room that he used to have, and I think it's starting to really hurt him. But the Penn State staff, on paper, it looks like a very good fit, and it looks like it should be a copacetic staff room, which is great. Everybody's on the same page, etc. So if that works out that way, I think it'll be a pretty quick turnaround. We're in the portal era. It's much easier to turn a team around fast now than it used to be. But we did have, you did have that off year with our recruiting, which it is what it is. So as we go forward from here, there's a time frame you have to give people. And I was kind of pointing this out to some other people. It was like, there's this tendency now because you have the Signettis and the Joey McGuires and those guys, you have people who are thinking that it's normal to turn a team around in 2 years. I'm like, we haven't gotten that far here, guys. Like, it's not normal to have a team playing for the national title in 2 years. Okay. What Signetti did is a one-off. You're not going to see that happen very often. And even with Joey McGuire, he needed a few years to get it going. And both of those teams were, by the way, both of those schools were secret underdogs because both of them had more resources than they appeared to have. So they were good situations for that type of takeoff, right? Penn State, you're not going to surprise anybody because we have the resources and everybody knows you have the resources. So in our case, it might take a couple of years. It may not, but I don't want people to get the idea that like it's normal to make the playoff in 2 years after having a really bad year. Like that's not how life works. It's not how the sport works. So most teams you need 3 years before you start really seeing where you can kind of start to say, all right, this coach, I want to start seeing his football, and we're going to see his game, his team. That third year, you're starting to look for that. And then year 4 is when you're hoping for an actual takeoff because that's his staff, his guys, his team. And I saw some people complaining about Lincoln Riley again, and I'm like, yes, he's a year behind. Like, I'll agree with that. Lincoln Riley's a year behind at USC, but he admitted as much. He admitted that he made some mistakes and had to reverse course. I wouldn't panic. He's still on the right track, but he's also getting coaches poached now. We just took his defensive coordinator. So, but that's the big thing is give Matt Campbell some time, let him make it his team. And I think we'll have a lot of success pretty quickly, all things considered. Now, Penn State, we've rebounded from worse faster. Like it might take us 3 years to rebound from 2011 and all that. And, I suspect given the people running the show at Penn State and given how how much they're willing to throw behind the team and get behind it. It probably won't take us that long, but yeah, let it be what it is. Give it time.
Yeah, his resume, like I said, is impressive. Like he was pulled from UCLA by USC because he did so good there, and then he made them better. And we really can't judge his performances at USC because, again, Lincoln Riley cares. He doesn't care about defense at all. He would probably just let no defense go out there and just, you guys score and then we'll go score. Like, he just doesn't care about defense.
He
doesn't
did it.
care
He
about
did
it
that
at all.
when he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, and then Brent Venables goes to Oklahoma. He's a defensive coach.
360. Or I should say 180.
180. Yeah.
But yeah, and by the way, speaking of Dabo Swinney, who used to work for him as his defensive coordinator when he was really good.
Yep.
Brent Venables. Once you lose that guy, it's not easy. I mean, we saw it with Manny Diaz too. Like, you lose Manny Diaz and it becomes a lot harder to play defense.
Like, Brent Venables had his own get back guy. Like, he would literally, they had like the guy on like fishing wire. Like, he went too far, they'd reel him back in. Like, he's crazy. Yeah. He's crazy in a good way. Yeah. But again, Thomas, thanks for the gifts. Already have much better player development staff. Elijah Robinson will be the icing on top of the cake. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be him. I think it's going to be Deontay, but Danton is a Joe guy. Yep, that's right, Lisa. Penn State needs big, nasty DTs again. Yeah, we always had them, man, going all the way back.
You got your slobber knockers up there.
Yeah, like Spice Adams back in the day. Like, we always had them. Yeah, you believe Penn State is capable of being as physical and as tenacious as what we've seen from? Absolutely. Yeah, that's Penn State, man. That's Penn State. Now, this team, nothing against Mario Cristobal, nothing against Jason Taylor, but this team is a bit of an anomaly. We haven't really seen this from Miami like this. Like, they beat A&M on the road, and then they beat Ohio State. Like, this is a very good team. That defensive line, they're the best. They're the best in college football. That's the best defensive line in college football. Ohio State's defensive line and defense were both pretty good. And the O-line for Ohio State, they were on ice skates all night.
They were getting cooked early. Yeah. That early game was rough to watch.
I mean, you don't see them give up sacks, really, man. Like, you just don't see it a lot. So, I think Penn State can do it. And